Cinfully Simple kitchen. Today we are talking about the Ninja coffee bar. Our friends at Ninja Kitchen were kind enough to send us a coffee bar to try out, and this is a little review and kind of a lesson in how to use the Ninja coffee bar. We only do honest reviews here at Cinfully Simple, so that's what you'll be getting today. And we are no Sofia Vergara. I am no Sofia Vergara, but I do like coffee. So here we go. All right, so let's talk about this Ninja coffee bar. So first of all, you have to understand, I haven't used an actual coffee maker in about 14 years. I'm a French press girl. I've been a French press girl for a really long time because I'm the only person in my household that really drinks coffee. So the French press has always been very convenient for me. So for me to switch to a coffee maker was a little bit of a stretch. So I have to tell you, I am loving this. I really am. I thought, well, if I don't like it enough, I could always give it to a friend. I'm not willing to give it up now. And I thought at first that it might take up too much counter space. My French press is very small, but actually you'll notice its footprint isn't that large. It's nice and tall and it's a little slender, so it fits on the counter really well. And it comes with some different little gadgets, and one of the things that I absolutely love about it is that it's very environmentally friendly. It's a very green coffee maker, and I say that because you can make all kinds of specialty coffees with it, but you can use your own favorite coffee. So no pods to buy, no pods to fill up a landfill. I have a coffee maker in my condo in Mexico that uses the pods, and I like it, but I hate all that waste. And so this is fantastic for no waste and being able to use your favorite coffee. So if Starbucks is your favorite, fabulous. If Folgers is your favorite, you can use that too. It's very versatile that way. And there are a couple of other things that I really love about it. So first of all, it came with this awesome coffee cookbook, and so it has all these fabulous recipes in it, including a few favorites by Sophia. And it also came with a travel mug, double-walled insulated travel mug with a straw in case you want iced coffee, which is also a possibility. It's got all kinds of fabulous settings for you to use. And then it came with, believe it or not, this looks a bit like a French press. This is your milk frother, and I was so amazed at the fact that this doesn't require any dangerous steam. So I used to have one of those cappuccino makers back in the day, way back in the day, and that steam used to burn me on regular occasions. It was very dangerous, and so no dangerous steam with this, just super easy. I'll show you how to use this in a minute. And then you also have the carafe that goes with it, and you can make a half carafe or you can make a full carafe. And the reservoir is nice and easy to fill. It just comes right off the pot just like that. I fill it up with the filtered water from my refrigerator. I figure it keeps me from having to clean the coffee maker so much. But speaking of cleaning, the coffee maker actually has a clean mode, and right on the back it tells you how to clean it with just vinegar. So again, some environmentally friendly cleaning instructions. All right, so we are going to start with a little bit of coffee. Are you ready? There are so many things to do with this coffee maker, I'm not even sure what to demonstrate. So first thing I'm going to say is, not only can you use your own coffee choice in the Ninja coffee bar, but you can pretty much use most of the ingredients that you already have in your pantry at home to make the coffees. So for instance, skim milk is what I use in the frother. You can use anything from regular sugar to sweeten your coffee to coconut. You could even use maple syrup for a variety of making a specialty coffee. You can then use a little agave. I love these Madhava agave syrups. This one happens to be salted caramel. You could use a little bit of vanilla. You could use cinnamon. You could use a little chocolate to make a mocha. These are mostly things that you'd probably have in your pantry already, so you can just take advantage of that. So again, you don't have to buy anything special to be able to use this coffee maker. So I think the first thing that I'm going to do is we're going to make one in the travel mug, because most of you are probably going to make this on your way to work. So again, you can still do a 1 cup. No problem there. You could make this iced or you could make it hot. I'm going to make it hot just for sake of time and ease, and because that's how I like it. I like it hot. And but before I do that, I want to show you this. So this is a regular size coffee mug. If you'll notice, this flips down and you just place your coffee mug right here to get your single serve cup, and then you set your dial appropriately to the right size cup. Now, one of the other things that I absolutely love about this coffee maker, and I'm going to demonstrate that right off the bat, is it has a drip stop lever, which, you know what happens when you go to pull the cup out and then all of a sudden it drips everywhere on you? I hate that. And so when you turn on the drip stop, it keeps that from happening. But my first thought was, well, what happens if you forget to turn the drip stop back off when you're making your next pot? Well, guess what? Ninja is taking care of that because they've made it so you can't do anything. Did you hear that? With that drip stop on. So the only way that I can use this is if I turn my drip stop back off. So good job on that one, Ninja. All right, so I'm gonna pull this guy out of here and we're gonna move to our travel cup. I'm gonna pull my lid off of that. And the nice thing is I'm just gonna stick my travel cup right underneath there. Now what you have to realize is that Ninja has figured this out in the sense that if you use the mug or if you use the travel cup, then the heating pad down here at the bottom never turns on. It only turns on when you use the carafe. So for this setting, I'm going to put it on my tall travel mug, and I'm going to open up my coffee area here, and you'll notice this is a permafilter. Fabulous, so no filters to throw away. Again, we're eliminating waste in the environment, which is awesome. And because I've already had a couple of cups of coffee today, I'm actually gonna use my decaf. And you get this great little spoon with it. So the small end of the spoon is actually for the smaller cups. The larger end of the spoon is for the bigger pots. So, and it tells you exactly how many scoops to use. So this says for the travel cup, I could use 3 to 4 scoops. I don't want mine super, super strong. So I'm actually just gonna put in 3 scoops of my coffee right into my permafilter. 2, 3. If you like yours really, really strong, you could do it that way. All right, and then I have a couple of other options here. If I were making an iced coffee brew, there's actually an over ice brew button here. If I'm making a specialty coffee, which I plan on doing today with the frothed milk, there's a specialty brew. There's also a rich brew and a classic brew. So I have lots of choices. So if I just want my regular cup of coffee here, I could hit rich brew or classic brew. I could add my little bit of cream in the top and I'd be good to go. But I'm actually gonna do a specialty brew today. So I have my switch on travel mug. I'm going to hit specialty brew. And I'm just gonna wait for this little guy to go to work. Now the specialty brew actually happens in a couple of phases. Starts out by filling up the reservoir, and it has a special process to make it a little richer. So you're basically getting kind of like an espresso happening here. So we're just gonna wait for this to go. I can hear it starting to work. You hear it? All right. So see, here's our first phase. Gonna put a little bit of coffee in there. And then we'll get a second phase that's gonna make it nice and rich. And while that's happening, I'm now going to take my milk frother, and I'm just using regular old skim milk here in my milk frother. Let me get my coffees out of the way here so you can see what's happening. So here's my milk frother. There are marks. I'm gonna put max milk in it. And that's my max line is right here. I'm gonna put this in the microwave for about 30 to 40 seconds, and that's on the max milk setting. I'm not gonna put it in for any longer than that because I've realized that milk actually froths better when it's colder, but I don't want the cold milk to make my coffee too cold, so I'm gonna put it in the microwave for a little bit. So 30 seconds in the microwave. And I have my warm milk now. We're gonna let our coffee keep going there. Now, the coffee frother is as easy as you put this little guy in, you make sure that the holes are not facing the spout, and I'm just gonna pump, just like this. And I'm gonna pump it about 20 times. They have a line that shows you how high you should pump and froth. I'll be honest, I'm a rebel, so I always go over the line. Look at that, do you see? Look at the volume there. So my milk started out here, now it's way up here. I'm gonna keep on going. I like mine really frothy and rich, so I'm gonna keep it going there. All right, now you have 2 options now. Now you'll see my cup here is done and I'm dripping, right? So I'm gonna flip on my drip stop. I'm gonna slide my mug out from underneath, no drips, gotta love that. And before I put my milk in, I'm gonna add a little bit of fun to my mug here. So how about a little chocolate mocha? I'm gonna add a little tiny bit of This is just regular unsweetened cocoa. If you're a baker, you probably have some of that in your pantry. I'd say that was probably maybe a couple of teaspoons. And I'm gonna add just a little bit of agave syrup in mine. That's about a teaspoon of agave syrup. And I've forgotten my spoon, so I'm gonna grab one of those. Mix that up. I think it's better to add the coffee and the sweeteners first and then throw the frothed milk in there. So I've stirred that all up. It's nice and beautiful and rich chocolatey. And hit my frother a couple more times, just for good measure. Now you can turn the frother to where the holes are facing front and pour that way. I'll be honest, I find it a whole lot easier just to take that puppy out of there, set it to the side, and just dump that baby in there. Look at that. That is a gorgeous cup of coffee. And I can tell you from experience, I've had this for a few weeks now, it's also a tasty cup of coffee. So give me just a second, I'm gonna have to taste test this for you just to be sure. Take my straw out of the mug, we don't need that for the warm coffee. Got my lid on there. I will say I did not put this lid on properly the other day and I got coffee dripped all down the front of me, so make sure you have your lid on tight. All right, let's see. Ooh, that's a good mocha. I haven't made mocha yet. That's a good one. Double portions. It's too bad you don't drink coffee. That's tasty. All right, so that's how you can do it in your travel mug. If you were gonna do this over ice, you could have your ice in here already, do the ice brew. Now, I just wanna show you, I'm gonna go ahead and empty out my filter, add a little bit more coffee, and we're gonna get a carafe started, just because I wanna show you something with the carafe. So I'm gonna pull this out of here. I'm going to, now I got a few drips that time because I pulled it out a little fast. Empty that out. I'm gonna add a little bit more coffee into the carafe. I'll go with some regular for the carafe. And once again, I'm gonna use my spoon. This time I'm gonna use the big end. I find that it says you can use, let's see, it says you can use 4 to 6 spoons for a whole carafe. I was using 5, it's pretty strong on 5, so I'm actually just gonna use 4 this time around. And the other thing is I can always choose rich brew and it'll brew it just a little richer. So I'm gonna do that, set that aside again, wipe off my drips, put this back on. Now remember, I can't turn this on with the drip stop on because it'll scream at me. So I've got my new carafe here. Goes like this, you twist on the top, just like that, nice and easy. Pop that in, I'm gonna turn it on my full carafe, and I'm going to choose classic brew, and we're gonna brew a whole pot. So our full carafe is done in about 5 minutes or less. And you'll see that our carafe is full. Actually, not quite full, but this is a full carafe, and we'll talk about that in a moment. We're also gonna make another coffee drink in a moment, but first, what I'd like to do is I'd like to go over all of the positives that we love about the Ninja Coffee Bar. So the first one is environmentally friendly, no plastic pods to throw away, nothing filling up the landfill. The other is you can use whatever coffee brand you like. So if you're a fan of Starbucks, or you're a fan of Folgers, or you're a fan of Maxwell House, whatever, you can use your own coffee anytime. You also don't really need to buy any special ingredients. You don't have to buy fancy coffee syrups if you don't want to. You can use all of the things that you already have in your pantry. And I'm gonna show you another example of that in just a few minutes. The other thing that we love about it is this easy to fill water dispenser. I fill it up in the refrigerator water. If you want to attach it and fill it up while it's sitting here, that's fine. Otherwise, you can detach it. That's great. We love just the awesome variety of things that you can do with this coffee maker. You can make specialty coffees, you can make iced coffees, you can make regular coffees. We love the drip stop option. Fabulous. We love the perma filter on the inside. All of these things make this coffee maker worth its weight in gold. The other thing is on the back, there's a winder for the cord, so you can keep the cord out of the way if you need to, which is fantastic as well. Most of these items are just fantastic, and this milk frother, honestly, is ingenious. I never knew that this could be so easy. I'm having so much fun with this. Literally, I'm the girl who is all about convenience. Every morning now, I'm using the milk frother to make my coffee drinks because it's just so much darn fun. I'm having a great time with this thing. All right, and there are a couple of things that we're not as much in love with, and I'm going to share those with you. So for starters, it does retail for around $199. That's a little high for some households, but what I want you to consider is the fact that if you were to buy a Starbucks coffee at an average of $3 each every workday in the year, which is about 260 days, you'd be spending $780 on coffee. $780 on coffee. So with the Ninja Coffee Bar, that's a significant savings over that. So I want you to look at that comparison before you decide that it's too expensive, because it really does have some awesome features that you would pay a lot more for if you were to get a specialty coffee maker or espresso machine. The other thing that I personally am a little concerned about is this full carafe isn't a full carafe, in my opinion. You still have about that much room at the top. I'd love to see this full all the way, but I get it, and I'm okay with that. This is still about 41 or 42 ounces of coffee, which is great for 2 to 4 people. When we have a big house full though, I'll be making pot after pot. So I would love to see the carafe filled up all the way. And speaking of the carafe, this is my biggest challenge with the coffee maker, is that this carafe isn't that easy to clean. The opening on the top is small. I can't get my hand in. They do recommend in the instruction manual to get a bottle washer to do it. I have a bottle washer here, and it does work, but I don't feel like it gets it completely clean. So I would like it to be a little easier to clean. But seriously, if those are the only drawbacks, that's awesome. This coffee maker truly is worth its weight in gold. If you could get me to switch from my 14-year French press to this, yeah, I'm just saying. All right, so let's make one more coffee drink for the road. This one's easy. You could do this in your own kitchen. I'm gonna put a little agave syrup in because that's my sweetener of choice. You could use sugar or stevia or Splenda, whatever works for you. I've got a little bit of vanilla here. We make our own vanilla. So I'm gonna put in about a teaspoon of vanilla into my cup. Teaspoon of vanilla. I also am a fan of cinnamon, so this is gonna be a vanilla cinnamon latte. I'm gonna put a little bit of cinnamon in there, and I'm gonna add my coffee about halfway. Alrighty, add my coffee about halfway. Remember, I'm gonna stir in my sweeteners right off the top. And then I filled my coffee frother to the half cup line, not the max milk line for this one. And I'm gonna make sure it's nice and frothy, because you gotta have a little froth. What's a latte without good froth? All right, remember I prefer to pour mine this way, so I'm just gonna tap this guy off here and set it aside, and voila. Ooh, look at that, isn't it beautiful? And then I'm gonna top it off with just a little bit more cinnamon. Look at my gorgeous coffee drink. This might be a coffee even double portions would try. It reminds me of the Mexican coffee we get in Mexico. So perfect. All right, well that's it for our Ninja Coffee Bar review. We will also be putting a Cinner's guide to gadgets on our website, so please make sure you take a look at the post that goes along with this and the Cinner's guide. It will outline the pros and cons, and get yourself one of these guys. It really gets a thumbs up from us.